Hi, another film I watched a while ago that I'm only just now getting around to review is the Dunwich Horror, adapted from the HP Lovecraft story of the same name and starring Dean Stockwell and Sandra Dee in a rare non-musical role. It's the story of a pseudo devil worshipping character wanting to bring the old ones, the ancient monstrous beings that control the universe, back into our plane of reality, and doing so using human sacrifice. Um, Unfortunately, I have to admit, it's a very long time since I watched this film. I watched it several weeks ago. Even though I made a note of it, I didn't do a review at the time because I forgot, and I have since then almost completely erased the film from my mind. It was made in the late '60s. It has a psychedelic element to it, and the casting of Dean Stockwell, I think, was very savvy. He had broken out of his juvenile lead roles, and he shortly would become an almost recurring figure on Columbo. So he works rather well as this countercultural type who's interested in the black arts. Having said that, the film, as I have demonstrated, really isn't particularly memorable. I had to actually look up some of the plot details to remind myself what it was even about. Um, so, with that in mind, if it didn't stick enough in my mind enough for me to actually do a review of it in a timely fashion, having been doing these reviews for several years now, this and the Phantom of the Opera are the first films that I've forgotten to review. It really doesn't say much for the film's enduring power that I managed to erase it almost completely before I'd even gone to bed. Um, from what I recall, it has some interesting visuals, some attempt at um, modernity and timeliness with a university setting, although that's apparently fairly standard for Lovecraft, but a late '60s university setting with a more contemporary tone. But really, there's so little I can say about it, and so little I could do to recommend it, that if you're interested in Lovecraft and his works, then this is apparently one of his better adaptations. Although I've seen In the Mouth of Madness, and although that's not based on any of Lovecraft's work, it definitely evokes it better than anything that I've seen elsewhere does. But otherwise, I'm sure it will slide off your brain as easily as it did mine.